I've been involved with TAB on and off since 2005. I was a member of one of Bob's boards in 2005 and 2006, and the first Bob Zelnick Award that I want to present is to the board is to a member of the board that I was a member of when Bob was facilitating it, and I was an executive. So I do, even though I absolutely agree with Chris that this is your board. I consider this particular board my board because I was a member of it and know many of the people. In fact, with the exception of 2 members, all the members of that board were members back when I was a member as well. So actually, before I announce the winner of the Zelnick Award from the CEO board, I'd just like to recognize the members of that board and ask them each to just briefly stand and just be recognized so that you all know who they are. They include Bruce Groves, Paul McGrath, may not be, yep, there he is. How could I miss the red jacket, Paul? Ed Repholz, Stan Omland, Gary Puringer, Scott Wallode, and Dune Wentz. And there he is. And the thing I just want to say about this board is that it's incredibly supportive of each other. Members spend time outside of the board meetings, saying, "Well, why don't I come over and spend an hour with you and work on that issue? I've got some ideas and some insight," or "Let me make a call for you." And I do think that in order to get the most out of the involvement of yourself with your board members, that it's important that you look at your fellow board members, not just for the social comfort of the meetings, not just for the opportunity to get advice within the boundaries of the 4 hours we spend together, but particularly to take advantage of each other's strengths, each other's networks, and each other's keen eye and experience for the opportunity to share that and leverage that to build your own businesses. So that brings me to the winner of the Bob Zelnick Award for the CEO board. And I'll just say that when Bob passed last year, I was facilitating one board at that time, and I was asked if I would be willing to facilitate a second board, and I said, well, I got a lot going on, and I'm not really sure, and I'll think about it. And one member of that board took it upon himself to stand up and call me and say, you should facilitate our board. And I'd like you to consider it, and I'd like you to do it. And that member epitomizes what the CEO board is about. Yeah, he brings his progress report every month. He's got his numbers, he's got his long-term objectives, he's got what he worked on last month, what he's going to work on this month, what his personal objectives are, and whether or not he's lost a couple of pounds. But most of all, he does listen to the other members and share incredibly good insights. And so for that reason, the MVP and winner of the Bob Zelnick Award this year from the CEO board is Dune Wentz. I'd like you to, if you don't mind,
not
spend
at
a
all.
couple minutes telling people what you get out of the board.
Can I use your notes?
Be my guest.
Oh, great.
There's nothing here.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you to all you guys. Very honored, very humbling. I guess, one thing that I have to fess up about, being on the part of the value of TAB is that it gives you an opportunity and even a responsibility to look at yourself, look at your business in a frank manner. So I have to admit that even though I put on my update sheet every month how many pounds I wanted to lose, if I lost all the pounds I wanted to, you wouldn't see me. I'd be up this big. So, it's a struggle, but business is a struggle, and being frank and honest with yourself sometimes about where your business is going can be a struggle too, and I find that's one of the great values of TAB for me, is to force me every month to look and say, okay, what did I say I was going to do? Did I do it? And admit when I didn't. It's really quite valuable to me, and I think that I got to believe for everybody to have an opportunity just to, even if the TAB board weren't there, just to have to every month sit down and say, okay, what did I do? And what makes it so much more valuable is sitting around the table with people who you like, or even if you don't like, with people who you care about, and people who care about you, who care nothing more and want to see nothing more than seeing you succeed. It's a very unique opportunity, and it's a very unique situation, which I appreciate greatly. TAB also brings phenomenal counsel. I've appreciated the counsel that I get from my board members, and I'm sure the same is true for everybody else. It's always insightful, it's always challenging, and another thing I find is that it gives you not only encouragement, but sometimes the courage to do things that you might not have done otherwise. And that's just a wonderful benefit without, you can't put a value on it. And finally, the camaraderie is a wonderful thing to have. It's wonderful to be able to sit in a room with people who have similar challenges, similar hopes and similar dreams and similar frustrations. And at the end of the day, you learn about a person in their business life, a person in their personal life, and you get to see that whole person in a way that I don't think really happens in any other environment. So I thank Ken for his wonderful, insightful, consistent, and disciplined leadership. And I thank all my fellow board members for their friendship, their counsel, and their encouragement. Thank you.
I started with Bob as a contract facilitator in about 2005, and last year, because of some health issues and family issues, it forced me to step out for a year, but I just want to tell you, I'm back. It was that Freddy Krueger, right? So I'm healthier and the family's fine. So, and I'd like to thank Ken and Chris for stepping in and handling the board. About the Arthur board, when I started with Bob in 2005, the board formed, and we said it'll be Arthur's board. You know, we'll call it Arthur's board. Just a little placeholder, right? Arthur's board. Well, a year later, Bob, and every year after that, at least once a year, Bob would say to me, "So aren't you going to get a name yet?" I said, and I'll tell Bob, "I'll put it on the agenda." So I put it on the agenda. Okay, first thing on the agenda, we got a name for this board. And you know what they would tell me? Sit down, shut up, we'll do what we want. You know, pretty much it was their board, they wanted to keep the name. So have you been able to change it?
Not planning on it.
Not
It's
planning
always
on
hard
it.
to
Okay. So with that, Chris did hand me an envelope when I came in. So the MVP for Arthur's board, right here in Florham Park, Brad Keating. Brad's in the room. By the way, Brad had been on a board previously, dropped out for a year perhaps, is that right? And then came back. So we appreciate that. And I know he's had a couple of great business years, and he's lost a lot of weight. June, what do you want to say to that?
Thanks. Thanks, Arthur. Great to see you. And thank you to my fellow board members. I'm honored, I'm shocked actually, because I think a lot of us, at least for myself, I never think I'm doing that kind of a job. So maybe that's why we're all here, we're all successful. So, as Arthur explained, I was on a board previous to this, and I had, for newer board members, I had high expectations, and you know, probably too high. You know, I expected to come to a meeting, I want to get everything solved that meeting, you know, and I got frustrated. So after about a year, I said, this is not for me, blah blah blah, and then I think I was talking to come back and join the Arthur's board, and you know, I kept an open mind. You know, I said, okay, if I can get one thing out of my meeting, you know, whether it's significant or not, you know, that's successful. So this board, my board, has really helped me do things I wouldn't otherwise do. I started the business 8 years ago. We had $1 million in sales, 2 people. This year, hopefully, we'll do about 10 million, and 7 people. So we're looking to hire 3 people, 1 admin, customer service rep, and sales professional. So these are things I would not have done on this board. I'm a very cautious guy. I don't want to make big leaps, but they've encouraged me to, my board has encouraged me to do things that really make me successful. Encourage any new TAB board member, if you're thinking, you know, this problem solved in one meeting, you know, to give it a chance. So I want to thank again my fellow board members, and I'm honored. Thank you.
And for the second year in a row, we have a winner, Kathy Koloff. And Kathy has grown to a point where she came in, many of you at a smaller company, the numbers aren't important, but through acquisition, she's now evolved to a much bigger company, to the size of a regular tab board, as opposed to what we call an EE board. And she can now go on to another board, but has opted to stay with her board. And there's something magical about our boards. You know, there's a power we get, and she doesn't want to leave her board. And I think that's pretty incredible. As we come on.
As you know, I started IC Radix 3 years ago. I was working for another company, and I started a complete reset 3 years ago. And not too long after I started the company, I bumped into Bob Zelnick, and he approached me about joining TAB. He was starting the emerging board, and I ended up with Chris, who's been wonderful, and the rest of the folks on our board. When I first started, I had 4 employees, so I'm up to 19. So it's been quite a busy 2 years for me. What's been best about the board is just the ability to bounce ideas off of people. The accountability, filling out that sheet every month makes me really think about, okay, what am I doing? What are my focus? And coming back and saying, okay, I told them I was going to do this. I did it. I didn't do it. You know, and it helped me prioritize some of the tough love that they gave me. I had some difficult employees and things like that I didn't really want to deal with. And they kind of gave me that push or kick in the butt or whatever you want to call it to make me make some changes. Tab has just been great for me. And then Bob, on top of it all, was the person who, behind the scenes, actually introduced me to the owner of the company that I just last acquired in the spring. I don't know if you know Angela Martley. She was on a board at one point in her career, and Bob knew that she was looking to, she has 2 different businesses in this particular division. He knew she was looking to make a change, and he told her to seek me out. And that is, he made a connection basically from the grave. So I can't thank Bob and the TAB board and Chris, my particular board enough. I really think that going there every month has been one of the keys to my success. And then just learning something every month, whether it's for myself or for somebody else's business. Lifelong learning is a great
I took over the strategic board from Bob when his health issues began. And the idea originally was for me to start a board of my own, but with Bob's health issues, he asked me to step in and take over that board. And I have to say that because Bob and I had known each other for 5 years, he was instrumental in introducing me into and helping me secure a client for my consulting business. And it was that individual who smoothed my path into assuming the facilitator role on the strategic board. That individual is very strategic and takes that strategy from the 30,000-foot level, looking at the future of his business, right down to the tactical level and execution through the managers within his business. He comes to every meeting prepared to tell and listen to the other members' problems, give them fair counsel, as well as accept it, and seeks very much to have the benefit of the board. And for that reason, the MVP of the strategic board is Tony Marmo. And accepting on behalf of Tony Marmo is Tony Marmo. He didn't want to do this.
It's quite an honor actually to receive this award in the name and memory of our friend Bob Zelnick. I've been a TAB member for a long time. I don't actually remember the actual years, but it's been a long time. And so I would say during that time, Bob Zelnick and our fellow board members have had, and now Ken, have had a huge influence not only in my business but in my life. and a very positive influence. And for new board members, I get 3 things out of it that keep me coming back every year and every month. The first one is the camaraderie. We do have a feisty board, but I know they're sincere concern about my personal life as well as my business. Also, as a business owner, over the years prior to joining TAB, you almost feel like you're on an island. You have strategic ideas and plans and successes and failures, and you can't really go to your employees and say, what do you think about doing this or that? So it's really getting the constructive feedback from fellow entrepreneurs and successful business people that I value, and most importantly from the strategic board is the accountability. If I set a goal that I'm going to do something in the next 30 days, if it's not done, I know I'm going to hear about it, and that's the same for them. So the years have been invaluable with TAB, and I would recommend it for any business owner that wants to grow and succeed in today's environment. So thank you, fellow board members, and it's an honor again in Bob's name to receive this award. Thanks.
So we have one more board for the brush fire board. And it's interesting, this must be the table to sit at, just so you guys know for next year, because our winner is Christina. And it was, we had a tie, and it's a small board. There was 5 members, and we had a split, and I couldn't get an additional person to vote. So I had to kind of chase. There was another board that went down to the wire in a second round of votes. So I give you this deal.
Well, we had our board meeting yet? Okay, 2 months into TAB, and we're a small board, but we're very open. And we've already had some pretty intense moments, but I can definitely see the value of working with other business people who are committed to doing what they do even better. And the honesty is sometimes abrupt, usually very refreshing, but I think that already the members of the board all feel very comfortable sharing the nitty-gritty of our business that we really don't want to discuss with other people, including spouses, finances. So I really already see the benefit, especially of having so many diverse business owners. You might think that, you know, a lawn care company or a printing firm may not have anything to do with your business, but it's really interesting to see what value you can get from that unusual perspective, and it usually helps it really helps me keep grounded and remember to keep the options open, because it's so easy when you're stuck working on the business, and TAB really already has forced me to just commit several hours each month to get out, look at the big picture, remember just why we're doing this 10, 12 hours a day. And I really think that the people on my board, I'm looking forward to meeting the next ones. I am absolutely convinced that we're all going to help each other get past whatever our initial current obstacles are and move on to the next one. So